I want to say some truth stuff right now. I'm very sad that this series isn't that popular. I mean, I don't think it's that people don't like it, I just think people are kind of overlooking it. Because there's so much good coming out this season that people probably don't have enough time to watch everything or give everything enough time to watch. And I understand that completely. I know how it is. There is so much this season, it's hard to kind of throw everything together. But it's just so upsetting that such a great series is being overlooked. Because this is a fantastic show. I dare say this is probably my personal favorite of this anime season, if we're not counting the obvious contenders that would be very good. For instance, Jujutsu Kaisen. I just think that Akudama Drive is something spectacular. It's unique. It's something I didn't expect to be as good as it was when I kind of came into this fall season of anime. I didn't really think it was going to be anything crazy. I was interested by just the color palette of, the image I saw when I was reading the summary. But now actually watching it and being 2 episodes deep, I'm just like, this is good. This is hella good. More people need to give this a shot. If you like Black Lagoon, if you like, let's say Cyberpunk, if you like just anything that's focused around, crime activities or whatever in terms of storytelling, you're gonna love this. It's so good. And I'm just like, I can't get enough of this show. I honestly wish there was a manga on this. I believe this is anime original, so I can't even go out of my way to continue to read this series or read the light novel or whatever it's based off of, because it's an anime original. I'm just like, that kind of sucks. That really sucks, because it's very rare I really enjoy a series like I do. I 100% in having such a good time with this show. And if this is your first time seeing a video from me talking about Akudama Drive, I cannot express it enough. You should definitely give this series a watch. It's so freaking good. But okay, Episode 2. I gotta say, in terms of episode quality, I think I like Episode 2 more than Episode 1. And Episode 1 was very strong, a very strong start, good way of introducing the world. But this episode did something even better that honestly, I gotta talk about first. The world building. Now, normally when it comes to world building of series, you have a narration over it, or you have a character start to explain it, for instance, the main character or whatever, about how the world works, or maybe you have a side character comes up to the main character and starts explaining about the world. And the thing is that we didn't get that. The normal traditional way of giving world building was not actually done within this second episode. It was actually given through a television ad that we saw in the middle half of this episode. And it's something that kind of blew me away. I didn't realize it at first until it came to a conclusion. I'm like, did this just give us world building in a believable way that didn't kind of make you feel disconnected from the events going on? Because to kind of explain it in the best way possible, there is a lot of series out there that try to kind of explain things about characters or how they work or how the world works, and it kind of disconnects you from it, because it's like, why are you explaining things that the characters already know? Why are you explaining why you call this person so-and-so when you should already know why, or this person knows why you do it, and the only reason why you're repeating this information is because you're telling it to the audience, and it's very sloppy. It's not a good way to really make a believable world, in my personal opinion. And the way we had the incorporation of world building through a TV ad that told us enough about how this world works is something that's very believable. To kind of explain what I'm getting at is that it was a TV ad explaining that there was a war in the past between Kansai and Kanto. And obviously one lost and the other won. And in terms of that, they came in like saviors after the war to be able to help the other, and the other kind of became more of a servant to the other. And upon doing so, you get to see how there's a lot of propaganda in this world. This world is definitely a dystopian future, which we kind of already got from the first episode, but it kind of reinforces this by saying it is a dystopian world that is, kind of indoctrinating and, pushing propaganda to young kids to believe that, this one so-and-so place is actually kind of better than the other, or, good people because they saved the other. And I like how the depiction of that world building was, kind of letting us know what happened in the past without making it feel like it's breaking you away from how the world works. Appreciate it. It's definitely a little bit of this episode that blew me away. It was very high quality. It was a very high quality piece of writing. I mean, this is written by the Danganronpa author, so it kind of makes sense why it'd be so well written. I mean, I know a lot of people like to give Danganronpa a lot of craps here and there, especially because of the anime. I don't think the anime did the game justice personally, but I think that just, like, seeing this, it's just like, it makes sense. It's the Danganronpa author. They're really good at writing. They know how to make a good story in a believable universe in their own way. And seeing this episode really just, once again, reconfirms my feelings towards the writer, but also this series is definitely going to be very good. But backing up, though, let's actually talk about the events of the episode. So, we get the main objective. Basically, you have this mysterious mastermind behind the scenes that's using a robo-cat to convey his messages to all of the Akudama part of this group. Now, we know our main female character, she currently is technically not an Akudama. She isn't a criminal by any means, but because of how deep she is in already, she's definitely a criminal now. But obviously, she's in over her head. She doesn't really know what's going on, and she's very confused, very scared. It makes perfect sense. I mean, if you're in that situation, you'd be frightened for your life, too. And she's just trying to figure out a way to be able to survive. But you find out that this mastermind wants to have all these Akudama break into this special train to be able to steal whatever cargo is going to this one location through a very dangerous quarantine zone that has radioactivity, like, radiation, thanks to the past war. And we don't really know what's in the cargo. We don't know what's so special about it, but it's very apparent that whatever's in this cargo is definitely something very important. It'll probably reveal more information about the world and kind of what's going on behind the scenes, and I feel like before everything is said and done, there probably will be more of a nobler goal that our characters will strive to achieve as the story goes on. Like, there'll still be broken and awful, villainous people, but I feel like the more they continue to progress and what they do might actually be for a justified and good means in the end and make the world a better place. Maybe waking everybody up to realize what's probably going on here with this dystopian world kind of controlling the populace and throwing propaganda to the children through these commercial ads that they put apparently 23 times a day. So when you just see these different little things going on throughout the episode, I'm like, this is probably going to be something really huge, and it's probably not the main end game of what the story is actually going to be about. This is kind of more of a step to what the main objective of the story is. So currently at this time, we don't really know what the end game goal of this story is going to be about. However, we do know whatever it's going to be is definitely going to be something about the connection between Kansai and Kanto and what happened in the past, and maybe something to do with the way the propaganda is displayed to everyone in the other sections of the world. And we also even get to find out about the class system within this world, about the criminal section to the middle class to also the rich class or the high class. You get to see the differences and all that, how there's a distribution of wealth between the individuals and how there's more crime in other areas. I just think that this did a good job with really setting up what you should expect from the story going forward from this point onward. Now, in terms of animation, I really need to take a few moments to talk about the animation. I know everybody's up in arms and just, like, really cheering on, like, Jujutsu Kaisen right now, because it's a beautiful series, and it really is. It deserves a lot of praise. It's fantastic. It's a great series from this anime season, but personally, I do think that some of the animation art from Akudama Drive is on the same level, and to a certain extent, especially the color palette. It's so fancy. I mean, that entire little fight scene that we saw in the halfway point of this episode towards the end, and the room that was kind of glowing and all that in the hotel, and when it turned blue, just that entire sequence was so freaking amazing. It was so beautiful. It honestly reminded me a lot of Altered Carbon. If you've ever watched that series on, Netflix, you'll know what I'm talking about. It reminded me of the color palette of that, and I love seeing just like the visuals of this episode. It was so pleasing to look at, and I'm just like, I can't get enough of it. It's honestly what really draws me into this story. I mean, it's got a good story, it's got good characters, but it's really the color palette that's continuously winning me over. It's because the way the eyes are drawn, the way the characters' hairstyles are done, even the voice actors carrying it, they're doing a good job. I think that this series is just, it's a dark horse of this season, easily one of the best series of this season. Once again, it's not talked about enough. It makes me so sad. It really does. But, anyways, besides that, we also get introduced to Executioners. So, Executioners, from what we find out within this episode, they are given a license to kill. Basically, namesake, they're literally called executioners. So they're kind of legal hitmen. They're legal killers that are able to go around and deal with the problems of the government. Akudama, for example. And you see how they kind of come in and they start to deal with these Akudama. They're trained to take down these type of criminals, these high-level threats, and they're definitely no joke whatsoever. You see them giving some of the stronger members of the cast a lot of trouble throughout, this episode. I mean, they even had to resort to this bike that kind of wiped out the top part of the building of this hotel, and it just goes to show you the power of these executioners. They're definitely not normal by any means. It makes me wonder if they have cybernetic enhancements or whatever. What if they have, like, some form of enhancements, like they're not fully human anymore, they're more robot or machine than actually human. Which, speaking of which, I do wonder where the Swindler's story is going to go. That is a big question I have. As I said in my first impressions of this series, I feel like the main female character is going to be very similar to the main male character of Black Lagoon, slowly becoming corrupt and changing as the series progresses. And I do wonder if she's going to become that. Like, as the story goes, she might live up to what her actual name is as a swindler and be able to seem like a nice person, a person that's able to fit in, but in reality, she actually is the biggest criminal among them. It would honestly blow my mind, like, it would really blow my mind if the series progresses to a point and it reveals she's actually a real swindler. I would be like, whoa, that would freak me the hell out if it actually happened. I could definitely see the Danganronpa offer doing that, though, because they're really good at mystery and building up thriller and all that type of stuff. I do wonder if that might happen. Could be wrong, but I do feel like if that doesn't happen, it's going to definitely build up to the point to where she's probably going to live up to what she's been given. For instance, a swindler and being able to kind of hide underneath the radar, and be kind of looking like a regular person, a regular class citizen, instead of actually, a criminal. But I want to leave it at that, though. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. Because for some reason, even if you hit the subscribe button, you don't always get notified. So if you want to get notified, hit that bell icon. And with that, Chibi out.